Okay, Brambro back with some Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. Our Italy campaign, which started in 1910, and we're right to the end of 1910, and we've begun a war, or had a war begun upon us. There's some fine grammar there. With Austria-Hungary, primarily. I mean, it's just a general war. It's us, France, and Britain against Germany and Austria-Hungary. And our piece of that war, our role in the alliance, is primarily to duke it out with Austria-Hungary. Germany and Britain are fighting up here in the North Sea. Britain seems to be doing fine there. I'm not really 100% sure what the hell France is doing. Maybe they'll make a contribution at some point. They do seem to have pulled a lot of naval power back into the West Med compared to a month or two ago. Or maybe that's just repairing ships coming back. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. They've got about the same levels of power projection in the English Channel and the North Atlantic that they had before, but they've got a lot more in the West Med now. It doesn't really look like it's moved down here. I think they just had a bunch of ships in repair that have come back out. And as our own battles have been going on, we can see, yeah, ships in repair don't count toward power projection. Because right now, we had 3 battleships in the East Med at Toronto. One of them got into a battle and took a little bit of damage and had to go back to port for repair. And now we're down to 2 battleships in the East Med. So that ship is not counting, plus the fact that San Martino didn't go back to Toronto for repair. It went all the way up here to La Spezia. Which is one thing about how this game works, is when a ship is damaged after a battle and goes back to port for repair, it doesn't go back to the port it came from, nor can the player pick which port it goes back to. It's just going to go back to a port. Any one of yours. I have... It doesn't seem to be entirely random. The AI has like favorites. For example, when playing Germany, you could the player can put all its ships over here on the North Sea, which will make sense against Britain, and then a battle occurs out here, and not every single time, but most of the time, the subject ship will go all the way back over to Danzig or Palau for repair. And I don't know if that's just a function of, well, that's the emptiest port, or that's the one with the best, the most space. Because La Spezia is a big 350,000 ton capacity port, and it was empty. So maybe that's how the AI picks which port to send ships back to. In any case, that battleship went up here to La Spezia, so not only is it under repair, it is also not even in the East Med anymore. And when it gets repaired, we'll have to send it back. So our PP did drop a little bit, but Austria has a total of 6 battleships, and 3 of them are out of commission right now. And by definition, all 3 of them have to be in the East Med, because these are the only 3 ports that Austria has. So those 3 repairing battleships they have are in here somewhere. Therefore, are also still in the East Med, but they're not reflected. And we're almost even on power projection in the East Med right at this moment. Of course, more ships will repair next turn and the numbers will change again. But I've decided that I'm going to pile the entire Navy into the East Med. And so all the remaining operational ships on the west coast, there were some at Gaeta and some at Naples, I'm pulling them around and they are coming to Messina and Catania. Messina is counted as an East Med port. It's not very clear from looking at it. It could really kind of go either way, but it's counted as an East Med port here. So our entire Navy will be over here. So our power projection in the West Med is going to be 0, but I think that's okay. Because there are no Austrian or German ports on the West Med. Therefore, in order to put any power over here, Austria would have to sail a task force over here, and it would be at sea. It would be visible. We would see its composition. So that creates a couple of problems for Austria. Number one, we know exactly the force, and then we can send a tailored force back over here to attack it, or just make it go home. And B, the extent to which they strengthen that force coming to the West Med is the same degree to which they weaken their power projection in the East Med. So I don't think that's too scary a prospect. So if, you know, let France worry about the West Med, empty these ports. Ships will probably be repairing over here, and we'll keep the operating fleet in the Adriatic, and then down here in Sicily and Taranto. So that's kind of the power projection outlook here in the early days of the war. So that's generally favorable for us. Now, the bad side of this war with Austria is they've got a pretty good battleship. We saw it in the last episode, and now we can't see the truly detailed ship design like we can for our own in the ship design window. But just looking at kind of the deck layout visually in the battle, the stats that we were able to see in the battle, I'm pretty impressed with the auto designer coming up with that ship for Austria. And looking at its gunnery stats while it was shooting at us, there were not a lot of obvious. I saw a lot of green stats, plus accuracy, plus accuracy, plus accuracy. Not much, so they don't appear to have any glaring technical flaws. And frankly, among our existing fleet that we inherited, we don't have an answer for it. Our starting battleship is not up to snuff against that thing. Same caliber of guns, but it's slower, and it's got some pretty severe technical flaws. One of which found and refit to correct already. However, after that last battle, when, oh my gosh, it couldn't seem to hit the broadside of a barn and was ineffective against heavy cruisers just because it couldn't hit them, I went in and I went back into the ship design for the San Giuseppe class. Well, the San Giuseppe 1910, the refit version, and discovered why. For one, it's an older hull, and So this may have been the best tower available for it. I'm not sure, but it is definitely not as good a tower as we were able to put on the Falcone class. So that's one problem. But another problem is, so it may or may not have the best tower it could. Even if it was the best in 1906, it is not the best now. And the other problem is, oh my gosh, look at this smoke interference. Minus 37% base accuracy. Ouch. So the combination of this smoke interference and tower selection, I think, is a big reason why this ship just isn't very accurate with its armament. It does have the best available stereoscopic rangefinder we have available. Matter of fact, I even popped that on during the refit, so it has that. But the smoke interference, and in order to correct that, I just don't see that as being within the feasibility of a relatively quick refit, because we would have to mess with probably the towers and with fuel and with boilers and with engines. Okay, that's not refit stuff. It would let us. We could go in there. You know what? Let's just see. Let's just see. So this would be yet another refit. I'm not going to actually do this, but let's just see kind of what this does. Or if we can even, so just changing the fuel, you know what, just changing the fuel type brings it's still bad, but it brings it down a lot. Just converting from coal to oil. And then what happens if we drop back down to natural boilers? Okay. Coming down a little bit more. That's still bad. But we're dropping our modifier from minus 37% to minus 22%. I'm not aware of anything else that affects smoke interference other than the towers themselves. And I don't know which one it has. I'd have to get rid of the existing one. I don't feel like messing with it. Making those changes didn't really affect the cost of the ship. The question is, how long does it take time-wise for that refit? I'm just going to save this design. And I don't know what it's going to do to the naming convention because we already have a San Giuseppe 1910 refit. You might get confused. We'll see how that goes. Oh, I guess it just modifies the existing refit package. Although it doesn't even call it a 1910. Oh, it's just a 1910-2. And heck, it's actually... both the refits are actually a little bit cheaper than the original. Probably for some tech advances. That might not take that long. I'm not going to refit either one of the... as soon as one of these other... as soon as that BB comes out of repair at La Spezia, we'll refit it just to see how long it takes. I bet it's not going to be all that long after all. So I'm recording this a little bit later. I realized I had... actually, a buddy pointed it out to me, to be honest. But I didn't look at funnels on this darn smoke interference thing. So yet another little bitty refit change. I found out this battleship just had way too much funnel capacity, especially after I had dropped the boilers down. Just completely got rid of one. Got rid of the forward funnel set. And the engine efficiency stayed at 100%. Where is it? Yeah. I mean, it's pretty slow. So, and I don't want to change the speed because I think that will drive the cost and of the refit up a lot. So she's going to stay slow, but we've got the smoke interference all the way down to a pretty good number now. It's pretty small. There's still a little bit. I could even probably drop this even a little bit more if I get rid of this funnel and replace it with the smaller funnel. But I'm trying to keep this refit as inexpensive and taking, and even more important, taking the least time possible. So funnels was a big piece of that. So anyway, I just thought I'd throw that bit in there, and there you go. That is still not going to make the San Giuseppe's an answer to the Austrian battleship, but maybe they'll do a little bit better than we saw. Meanwhile, that's all kind of looking ahead, and I've already been talking for a little while. We still have a battle here in December 1910 where another one of our battleships is going up against some heavy cruisers and a battle cruiser. This is our first look at the Austrian battle cruiser. And then we've got, oh, by the way, I also looked at our battle cruiser, and it's got almost as bad a smoke interference problem as the battleship does. The San Giuseppe's had a 122 smoke interference. Our battle cruiser has a 100 smoke interference. But this is going to be our first look at our own heavy cruiser in battle, the Farnese class. You know, I'd remarked before about how the Austrian heavy cruisers don't have torpedoes. Well, neither does ours. Okay. I am. I'll be honest. If we were not defending transports, I might just enter this thing and disengage. I don't really like the look here. I mean, we have two heavy ships against just the one, but I just don't think our gunnery is going to be very good. Well, we'll see how it goes. I'm kind of tempted to auto-resolve it, but I'm kind of thinking that may result in a whole bunch of lost transports and a lot of VP conceded to Austria. So we'll see how this turns out. Okay, just get our bearings here. Enemy smoke is to the north, so it's that way on the other side of our transports. Our transports are headed, yeah, they're turning right to starboard, so they're trying to turn away from the threat. Got our battleship and our battlecruiser together. Where's our, and there's our heavy cruiser. So battleship here, battlecruiser in follow, and the heavy cruiser is in scout mode. Want to get out of that. The unless it's improved in the last few months, the scout generally just winds up with doing crazy things and getting in the way. So we're just going to give. Matter of fact, I'm going to. I don't think we want the battlecruiser following. It'll follow, but the battleship is so much slower than the battlecruiser that in trying to just maintain station, Monarca would just be kind of fishtailing back and forth, trying to slow down to maintain station behind. Castelfidardo. Castelfidardo, and won't ever really steady up on her own, and that'll just hurt her accuracy even more. So, but she can follow the battleship at least until we make contact and start figuring out how to maneuver. So let's get the two heavies turned up this way toward the threat, as well as Gorizia. Which this might take her right into the, I'm going to give her a hard turn. We want her kind of going up through this way. Make sure she clears the sterns of the heavies. Okay, that'll work. Let's go straight on through there. Be nice if we could bag a heavy cruiser coming out of this. Okay. First, let's see, is this the battlecruiser we've made contact with? Looks like it. What does that look? It's a pretty nice looking ship. It's like pretty low freeboard. Okay, let's get Monarca going steady. She doesn't need to go real fast at the moment. Matter of fact, kind of like our battleship to stay out front and draw the fire. Monarca does have torpedoes. Let's turn those off. You've started a few superficial fires, but we have on them too. Okay, it looks like their cruisers are divided into two different divisions. Clearly that cruiser is not generating smoke. There's a destroyer right around in here as well. Okay, we don't particularly need to engage at close range. Let's concentrate fire on this heavy cruiser. If we're going to get some decent VP out of this, I think that's our best bet. Gorizia is firing at that heavy cruiser for now, but let's make sure she keeps firing at it as a designated target. Slow everybody down to cruise speed. Or 16 knots. Let's get Gorizia in a little bit closer. Our relative position regarding the transports. I think we're okay there. I want all guns on Leopard. Okay. We need to get everybody turned around. We're getting too far. We're kind of giving them a free shot at the transports. Speed up. Kind of hoping Gorizio can get across the battleship's bow there. That is not very impressive for the focus fire of 3 warships. Okay, I think Monarca gonna kind of straighten up here. She's at cruise speed now. She doesn't need to get too much further away. Let's keep our ships together. Yeah, everyone's still on Leopard. That's what I want. Looks like their battlecruiser disengaged, and that destroyer is nowhere to be found either. I'm not against that. Well, the battlecruiser's still shooting. We just can't see it. Okay. Let's just have everybody at 16 knots. %. with main armament at this distance by a dreadnought battleship. That is pretty. What is. Yeah, minus 33% hull stability and tower. That smoke interference is baked into that tower modifier there. It's also being affected by the fact that Leopard is turning, apparently. And accuracy is degrading because she's taking damage. I think we are successfully defending the transports, though. %, damage to Leopard structure. She hasn't really slowed down that much. She slowed down a few knots. We've delivered 109 hits for 2.1k. We've received 58 hits for 1.7k. So twice as many of our shots. We've landed twice as many shots. However, the damage is fairly even. And given the fact that we're shooting at a heavy cruiser and they're shooting at a battleship, this really is, that should be a bigger disparity in my opinion. Okay, let's turn Castelfidardo a little bit, make sure she keeps all of her main battery trained. It is a faster moving target. Leopard is down to, well, she's back up to 25 knots. I think we can speed this up a little bit. Yep, now the battlecruiser's coming back into play. And that destroyer is over here. Okay, she's taken some engine damage. She's going to be going DIW here pretty soon and is taking on some water. That's going to make her a lot easier to hit. And pretty much takes her away as a threat to the transports. It's got to be said. Monarca is starting to get more of the fire now, though. "12-inch fire. I think we better speed Monarca back up in order to. Matter of fact, I'm even going to bring her back up above cruising in order to lessen. What is that? Gortzkowski's accuracy. Okay, let's shift everyone's fire now to Kaiser and Elizabeth. At least Gorizia and the battlecruiser. And we'll let our battleship finish off Leopard there. Now I was paused through that very shortcut. Nothing happened that you didn't see. Okay, Leopard's just about done. Okay, Leopard's done. Shift the battleship to Kaiserin. You know what? Monarca does have torpedoes. Hold on. Let's see if I can see. I don't know exactly how they're configured. Okay, port and starboard torpedoes. Kaiserin is a little bit too far forward. I don't want to shoot now. But if she gets slowed down a little bit, we could have a really nice geometry there. Let's, well, we're already going max speed. Kaiserin takes a little bit more damage and slows down a little bit and gets back to around here or so. We'll let Monarca have a shot at her. I think she only has the one shot. She has 4 torpedo tubes. She only has 3 torpedoes, and that's because one is damaged. So it'll be a one-shot affair. Let's see how that develops. Pretty close. Let's put all AP on her, see if we can get an engine hit, penetrating engine hit. With main armament. Change my mind. Let's make Linz maneuver away from us. Uh-oh, Monarca's taking engine damage. torpedoes away. Hopefully the... That seems odd. Why aren't the two torpedoes following in a spread? Did it fire one at one and one at the other? It kind of looks like it. That was a nice smack on Kaiser. Don't know who did it. Let's see. Let's speed the battleship back up. She needs to get back in this fight. Gorizia, speed up. Gorizia you can just go to cruise speed. Oh, we might actually hit. No! Just scooched right across her bow. Okay, where's our position relative to the transport? It's not very far away. Do we have sight on Gorskowski? No. And it doesn't look like there's any 12-inch fire coming in. Well, maybe. Just way over here. Okay, there we go. Right. Well, we want to stay engaged with these cruisers, but we don't want to get too much closer to the Gorskowski. So how about let's do a hard left. Castle. I'm just going to say Castle. Castle can just kind of continue her current course. Actually, she's still got a slight turn going, which is going to affect... Let's straighten her up, actually. How was Monarca doing for ammo? She's still doing okay. Her little 1.9-inch gun is light, but alright. Gorizia can straighten up here. Head over this way. Monarca, straighten up. Steady up about like so. That looks all right. Just got one torp left. It says loading, but it's on. It wasn't fired, so yeah, there it goes. That was a nice hit. I think that came from our heavy cruiser, actually, Gorizia. Or that could have come from Castle. Yeah, BB 13-inch hits CA. That's what that was. Their DD has not been a factor, which is good, because that's basically their one torpedo shooter. I think Gorkowski actually has. It might have torpedoes as well. Monarca can slow back down a little bit, improve her accuracy a little bit. There was a nice hit. And that was from a heavy cruiser. 7-inch round, 7.2 inch for 251, including main deck pin. So that I think she took some flooding from that as well. Aha, there we go. Engine damage. So Kaiserin is slowing down to 13 knots. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Let's go ahead and get Castle turned around. Just do it that way. Hard left rudder. How is Castle's doing okay on... well, she's got a lot of AP left, not much HE. Keep Monarca and Gorizia from running into each other here. Whoop. Left Castle in the turn a little bit too long. She overturned. Let's get you headed over this way. Looks like they're retiring. Nope, not that. There's another 13-inch hit on Kaiserin. Okay. We need to close the range a little bit again. Both of our heavies have been beat up a little bit, and I think they're both going to have longer than a 2-month repair. But overall, I think this battle's going okay. Primarily because their battlecruiser really kind of didn't get involved. I mean, she's shooting, but from a long distance with low accuracy. And their destroyer didn't cause any problems for us with torpedoes. And not necessarily just the torpedo threat itself, which would be bad, but all the maneuvering to avoid her torpedoes would have been problematic. Oh, well, I may have spoken too soon. Gorskowski has come back in vision, so she's closing. Let's actually have the two heavies engage Gorskowski. What remaining ammunition they have needs to go on that battle cruiser. We'll let Gorizia keep shooting at Kaiserin. Well, Gorskowski's coming in with a vengeance now. And aiming at our heavy cruiser. Gorizia, speed up. Well, you're going about as fast as you can now. She took a bit of a wallop there. Ow. Ow. Gorizia's getting smacked. Okay, let's get Castle back down to cruise speed for the best accuracy we can get. Let's get Monarca. Well, Monarca's already slower. Just keep Gorizia pointed stern on to okay. Gorskowski has shifted her fire and is taking some damage there. Oh crap, she's got torpedoes though. and apparently has fired some. And I think Castle may be about to take a torp. I just moved the rudder on the wrong ship. Ooh, that was a big smack on that battlecruiser. And she's lost all three. She's got 3 propulsion damage icons on her. That doesn't necessarily mean 3 engines. And you know, there's not that many warship designs that have 3 engines. It would be 2 or 4 would be more common. It's just 1 is light damage, 2 is medium, and 3 is severe propulsion damage. Okay. Castle, straighten out. Gorizia, wrong way. Because I messed up your maneuvering. Monarca, let's get you back in the fight. Come over here. And meanwhile, Linz is just throwing herself right in the middle of it. Okay, Gorskowski is out of torps, so that's good. How is Castle doing on... All of her turrets are still in commission. Oh, Gorskowski might be about to sink. Let's just pause for a second here, and let's see if we can get better information here on Gorskowski. Standard bulkheads, spacious crew, pitch and roll look decent. She's actually a little, just a tiny bit skinny than average. Yeah, low freeboard, we saw that earlier. Reduced ammo, reduced torp ammo. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, okay. She has... Well, she's actually delivered a lot of damage. She scored 112 hits for 3,000 total. And of course that's spread between our battleship and our battlecruiser. She's taken 61 hits for 2,000 damage. Blocked 3, ricocheted 4. .9 inches. I think that's effective armor on her main belt, because she's got plus 98% armor quality. But you see there, she's taken 384 damage from fire, and that's continuing the tick as long as they burn. And that's kind of the hidden damage that comes from HE, because you hit with HE, and you know, it only shows the immediate damage from the impact of the shell and the explosion of the shell. But if it starts a fire, it puts a little more ticking damage on there too. And she's taken 384 damage from that. Okay. Meanwhile, though, Gorizia is not in a good position. Actually, who is Gorizia? She's still shooting at Kaiserin. Well, you know what? Do what you can to help put down this battlecruiser. As long as you're there, about to scrape paint with it. I think Castle's fine. I want her maintaining course so as not to hurt her own accuracy. I think she should still be well within the firing arcs of all three of her. Oh, well, this little bugger has shown up and has fired torpedoes at somebody. Recently. Where are your guns pointed? Kinda toward Gorizio. Do you see any torpedoes in here? There's one. Okay. Alright, Castle needs to move at least a little bit. And she needs to move that way. Where is Monarca? Okay, that's fine. Okay, that should be enough. That torpedo should just slide right up her starboard side. Kaiserin still hasn't gone down. How far has this battle drifted from the transports? Okay, we're pretty good long distance now. I think the transports are safe. Gorizia may not survive this. Oh, ammo debt on Gorskowski. That had to hurt. Alright, Gorskowski isn't going anywhere. How are we doing for ammo? That torpedo has passed on by. Let's get Castle turned back toward the fight, unmask her batteries. Let's get Monarca straightened out. Take her out of a maneuver. Well, not have her ram into Kaiserin. Who is still moving and is not trying to disengage. She's still trying to plug along in here. Let's get Gorizia back on. I want castle secondaries on this destroyer. I have a sneaky feeling that there's a torpedo in the water and it's aimed at the battleship. Huh. I'm going to put a cut in for just a second. Alright, back. Korskowski just about done. Monarca is still doing okay for ammo. Gorizia is just exiting. Yeah, let's just get her out of the fight. I think she won't collide with Kaiser in there. That destroyer just fired a torpedo. It did. Where is it? Not seeing it. Well, crap. I know it just fired a torpedo. Like just now, and I can't see the damn thing. Okay, well. All three of our... Well, it could not have been the battleship. It's too. It's within its arc, but it's just too far away. Just in case it was Gorizia, we'll just turn her this way. That should be more than enough. But if it's fired at Monarca, Monarca needs to make a hard left. I mean, I don't see the torpedo aimed at her. Okay, well. What will be, will be. There it is. Yeah, we've already done enough of a maneuver. Oh, there's two in the water. And Monarca will avoid both of them. And she's out of torpedoes. Good. Castle needs to get back in this fight. And she... How is Gorskowski still afloat? Okay, we need to stop expending ammo on Gorskowski and Kaiserin. Obviously we want them to sink, but we need these remaining ships neutralized, and we just don't have that much ammunition remaining. So let's get Castle's main armament on Linz and secondary armament on the destroyer. Gorizia, fire at Linz. Monarca, start working on that heavy cruiser. I don't think anybody has any torpedoes left, so we can speed up. That's pretty good pop on Linz. Okay, Lynn's taking some propulsion damage. That'll make her easier to hit. And slow Monarca down a little bit. Lynn still has a ton of ammo left. Wow. Okay. Let's get all guns. On Lynn's. That destroyer doesn't even have much 4-inch HE left. It was a pretty big hit. That was from Monarca's 10-inch guns. However, Monarca is just about out of ammo. Castelfidardo has still got quite a bit of armor-piercing ammo. Ow. She's not at a good angle there. Okay. Let's make sure we get this battlecruiser. That'll be a lot of VP. And power projection. Oh shit. Let's see, where's... Well, we've taken some fire control damage. That has tanked our accuracy pretty badly on Castle. If I'm not careful, Monarca could have some trouble here. Here, as long as you're right by it. Here, shoot the shoot Kaiser in there. There, that's good. Let's get Linz taken care of. Okay, so you still have some ammo. So Castle, start headed toward the battlecruiser. We still, we'll have Castle go over and finish Gorskowski, but we'll keep shooting at Linz on the way over there. Monarca is basically out of ammunition. And Monarca can just go ahead and disengage. I don't want a lucky hit to get like an ammo dead or a flash fire on her, and she's got so little ammo left. Just make sure we don't lose that battlecruiser. She's done well, I think. Well, I'm kind of interested to see what the battle results look like. Oh my gosh. Like that. Alright. Castle, get out of here. Well, that flash fire chance, even with the refit, came back to bite her. What did that? Yeah, a 6-inch round did that. And that took out all of her ammo. She doesn't have any more 13-inch ammo. Okay, we got fire going, but only in one compartment. She's not losing any more structure. She can't go very fast, but neither can any of Gorskowski's at 3 knots. Lynn's is at 6 knots. Going as fast as I can. We're just disengaging now. It's pretty amazing Gorskowski didn't sink. She's been hanging on to 2% flotation like forever. Okay, we've lost sight of them all, but they still have sight on us. Larger target signature. Man, I hate leaving that battlecruiser. But it's more important to keep our own battleship. Okay, 923 hits, 500 taken, delivered 26,000 damage, took 18,000 damage. So it's a victory, but it's a pretty darn expensive one. Well, it's pretty lopsided on the victory points because of the 2 sunk heavy cruisers and heavy damage to both Lenz and Gorskowski. But we took heavy damage to our 2 heavies as well. All right, Castelfidardo. It says main gun accuracy 23%. That's pretty good. I didn't think she was shooting that well, but okay. Lost a lot of men. That primarily from that flash fire. She lost a. That's where the majority of her crew losses came from, I think. 13% on Monarca, 12% on Kaiserin, 3% on Leopard, okay. I don't know why we can't see Lens anyway. Well, it's this one. This is Lens, 5.3%. And how did Gorizia do? 5.5. Our battleship dished out 7,800, but took 8,200. Again, the flash fire. And Monarca did really well. Matter of fact, the only reason I would have backed out the battleship regardless after that flash, but the only reason I ended the battle overall was mainly because Monarca had run out of ammo. If she still had some, I would have turned her around to finish off those ships. Okay, well, that was quite a long battle. It turned out to be successful, and we actually did quite well with it on victory points. Heavy, and medium damage. And even with, even though they survive, those are going to be expensive repairs. Well, these are going to be expensive for us too. So the monetary repair cost is probably a wash there. Let's see how long those repairs are going to take. It's quite a while, I think. 7 months for Monarca and 7 months for Castelfidardo. Oh, need to get the add crew button. Okay. This will be the end of the episode, but let's just go ahead and advance one turn and see what waits for us in January 1911. Wow, yeah. Power projection of both sides dropped a good bit. However, there are 2 more battlecruisers coming from Naples to Messina. And apparently they thought this was the shorter way to go instead of just going right down here through the strait. When they arrive, we may actually pop up above them in power projection. It's possible. We'll see what happens. Okay, let's see what happens in January. Interesting. Naval superiority led us close to Cattaro. If we defeat their naval forces, we can damage their facilities with a port strike. Which sounds great, and we got a lot of ships here. But as I said before, we don't have an answer for their battleship. And there's 4 of them. And they don't have any obvious tech deficiencies. I don't think the 10-inch guns on our battlecruisers are going to stand up to 4 battleships of 13.4 inch. I'm not going to take that battle. Well, Germany's back to losing merchants in the North Sea. That's good. Okay. Not fighting these now, but looks like for January there is another convoy battle, which is us attacking a convoy. Okay. Certainly with this bunch, we should be able to whoop up on some merchants and maybe get that heavy cruiser without getting into too much trouble. And well, or the other option is maybe we just YOLO this and we take our light cruiser and 4 destroyers and go try to torpedo that bugger. Okay, let's see how that goes. And there's an ambush attack of some type where we've got 4 destroyers ambushing basically a heavy cruiser. Okay. So our destroyers are going to have a pretty prominent role, I think, in the next episode. But we'll have to wait for then. That will do it for this one. If you like what we're doing with the channel, you like the content, then leave a like, leave a comment, maybe even subscribe. But at any rate, thank you very, very much for watching. I appreciate it.